New illustration reveals from Sword Art Online Volume 26 Unital Ring V have arrived during the recent Reki Kawahara Channel livestream. We got some beautiful illustrations, but of course, since the book is releasing October 8th in Japan, we don't actually have the context for these scenes, but we do have a rough timeline of them. I will also try to keep this video brief as I want to go back to working on the progressive trailer for Explained video, so please excuse the low effort editing here, not that I got extensive editing opportunities when I'm talking about 4 still illustrations, but remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon for the latest and most accurate Sword Art Online news and content on YouTube, certainly faster than channels who watch and translate my content without crediting me, or Wikia at least, after asking questions. I'll get to the colored illustrations last, since it appears to be chronologically the last one as well, so let's start with the only one from Unital Ring the game. Silica in a ghillie suit would probably be the cutest thing ever if we did not already have Len in a ghillie suit in Alternative Gangale Online, but even then it is great to have her as well as others have a much more prominent role in Unital Ring, as also portrayed in the cover art. Now, only if Abeshi would start giving Egil and Klein some illustration screen time too. It was already criminal back in War of Underworld that Klein's grand entrance did not get an illustration in favor of Silica and Liz talking to Asuna. We can see Silica is reaching for something with her hand in the illustration, which ends up being a massive bug, and one has to assume this is where her cover is completely blown, whatever it is that she is doing in this instance. Next up, we have an illustration with Kirito, Alice and Asuna, seemingly before Kirito and Eolyne depart from Cardino to Admina on Kirito's Zirfan Dragoncraft. If you don't know the context for it, please watch our Unital Ring 4 summary podcast, and if you don't know who Eolyne is, I got a video on that as well, don't worry, just go watch that first. But this illustration, it certainly does look like Alice just made a snarky jab towards Kirito or Asuna, and Kirito is going full "oh god, not this shit again" mode, while Asuna is leaning forward to look at her with a simple well, what did you just mention? One of those classic, characters bickering about something dumb regarding Kirito scenes that is, at this point, a staple of the main series, as much as bath scenes are a staple of progressive series. Next up, we see Kirito and Eolyne on board a Dragoncraft, most certainly Kirito's Zirfan. Nothing much to say here. I do not actually expect a space fight going on around, but I cannot rule it out either. The large monster in the cover could be a massive boss monster in either Underworld or Unital Ring. Its head, the head portion in the bottom right, is clearly that of a minion from Underworld. We have seen that in the anime as well, but the way its body goes around the entire cover like a serpent, I don't know, I think it's likelier that it is a large world boss in Unital Ring instead. Last but not least, we have the colored illustration of Kirito, Eolyne, and the new male looking character right in front of them. With this much purple, the first assumption has of course been that this is Kamura Shikimi, who we believe to be Mutasina in Unital Ring, but again, the character does certainly look more like a male than a female, especially considering this is not a Hima illustration from Accel World, so if it's a flat looking adult, we can be relatively certain that it is a male. So that brings us to the second possibility that Hisui has brought up over at SAO Wikia as we were discussing the illustrations. This could be one of Eolyne's adoptive brothers from the Harlands family that Eolyne is told to be not on such good terms with, so Fanatio and Berkuli's real descendants. That explains the overall purple attire of the character stemming from Fanatio, and if you look at his eyes, you'll see that they are a shade of blue, same as Berkuli. I know some people will see a lot of purple in his right eye specifically, but that is completely on the lighting of the scene. Like, if you look at the big picture there, just look at Eolyne's clothes. The portion that is under direct light, it is completely purple, whereas the one in the shade remains blue as it is. So yeah, that's currently the most likely theory in my opinion. That is one of Fanatio and Berkuli's descendants who is either greeting Kirito and Eolyne for their arrival on Admina, which is a problem on its own because their arrival should have proceeded in complete secrecy, or he is acting suspiciously villainous and knows something a bit more about the potential otherworlder war brewing up in Admina than he lets the others know. But yeah, that's all we know for now. The book is officially out in Japan in 2 weeks, and depending on our schedule at SAO Wikia, we will bring you an extensive summary with our SAO Wikia podcast as soon as possible, after we finally get around to the Progressive 8 summary, of course, so stay tuned for all of that. Thank you very much for watching, and a huge thanks to all my patrons and channel members as always. Subscribe on YouTube and follow and other stuff on Facebook and Twitter for faster news access. I'll see you all next time. Until then, stay cool.